Welcome to this video tutorial. I am about to share with you what the main assessment objectives are and how you can demonstrate them in your answers. As always, massive thank you for watching. Remember to click that like button if you get something out of what you see, comment if you've got any questions, and don't forget to subscribe. So the main assessment objectives are AO1 knowledge and understanding, AO2 application, and AO3 analysis and evaluation. So let's start off with assessment objective number 1, AO1 knowledge and understanding. So what is it? Well, this is how you can show the knowledge that you have about a theory, a research method, or an idea. Use the keywords and concepts to describe it, to explain it. Show that you understand them by offering a brief definition and refer to studies and give what their findings are. So to show good AO1 about Marxism, you might refer to the works of Karl Marx and his findings about society. So things like capitalism, bourgeoisie, proletariat, ideology, alienation, and you can show that you understand these terms by explaining what they mean, putting them into full sentences. Secondly, assessment objective AO2 is application. So what is application? It is showing how the knowledge that you have just written about links to the question. You can apply material from the item, you can link examples that are relevant, and show how these ideas all link together. So you might get a 20-mark question with an item which is asking you to evaluate the usefulness of, for example, Marxist theory. So make sure whatever you write is relevant to that question. You might want to use the item, it will give you a bit of clues. And if you are trying to use examples as well, use them from the topics that you study. So you might want to use examples from how the education system or the family reproduce capitalism. So an easy way to consider application is LBTQ, so use the wording from the question. Therefore, this shows how useful Marxist theory is in studying society today. Or if you are applying an example to back up the point that you've just made, use the words, for example, this is showing how this works. And in questions where there is an item, say, according to the item. Then you might want to quote it and then offer your own knowledge to show that you understand what that means. The final assessment objective is AO3, analysis and evaluation. So firstly, what is analysis? Well, this is breaking down an argument or explanation into the ideas that make it up and then show how they fit together. You can also compare and contrast ideas. How are they similar? How are they different? And just the way that you organise your essay. Breaking it down into paragraphs that have a logical chain of reasoning and then leading it into a logical conclusion at the end. So sticking with our Marxist example, if you've got that question that's asking you about Marxist theories to understand society today, you might explain that there are 3 different types of Marxisms. So you might want to break it down into the traditional, the humanist or the neo-Marxist, and the structural Marxist. And you can show how they see capitalism and exploitation, but how they see it in different ways, and you can compare and contrast them. So lastly, evaluation. So this is where you start to weigh things up, looking for arguments which are for and against a particular view, or explaining a theory's assumption, or linking it to a particular perspective, or you can put forward an alternative view to create the debate. And if you're looking at a method, you can give the strengths or weaknesses of that method. Going back to our example about Karl Marx, if it's asking you to evaluate the usefulness of a theory and how it explains society today, you might then start to offer criticisms of Marxist theory, the traditional Marx, by using, say, Gramsci, because he suggests that people have got an element of free will. Or you could even talk about Althusser, criticising both traditional Marxist and humanist Marx. You can critique traditional Marx because he argued that there was going to be a revolution and it has never happened, and that means that it's not useful in explaining society today in that respect. Further ways to show evaluation, well, think of the argument that you're giving. Is it true of all cases? The assumption that this argument can apply to everyone can always be challenged. So is there any cases that it ignores? So for example, with Marx, it just focuses on class, and somebody like Weber would say, well, it's too determinist to focus just on class because status and power is also important. And feminists would argue, well, what about gender inequality, and what about racial inequality also? And is the argument an old argument? Can it apply to today's society? So often when we're given evidence from a Marxist, a functionalist, or even a feminist viewpoint, times are changing, and we can use postmodern ideas all the time to evaluate these modern theories, because we've got ideas of diversity and choice can be used to evaluate, because some of these arguments from Marx, from functionalists, are just typically out of date. We are living in a diverse society. So overall, I have just outlined what is AO1, what is AO2, and what is AO3, and give you some examples about how you can meet them. As always, massive thank you for watching. If you now have a bit more of an understanding, click that like button. If you've got any questions about it, please leave them in the comments below. I always look forward to hearing feedback from absolutely everybody. I'm hoping to get back in the swing of things and create videos every week. And I want you to have a really good week. Bye.